Hey, welcome back everybody. Today I got a new deck profile for you, and this time it is Buddy Fight. I wasn't the biggest fan of Buddy Fight, but my buddy really likes the Katana World collab deck, so I figured I'd pick one up too. And this has been the most enjoyable one to play. But before we get into that, I just want to give you guys a quick little heads up on what our plans are for the following weeks. So Sunday, I'm hoping to show off Alquilibra, the other Dragon Empire Divine Skill deck that I guess a lot of people forget about. I think it's a really fun deck. That's gonna be shown off because I finally got the promo in, and then I'm hoping. I don't know if it's gonna be next Wednesday or if it's gonna be Thursday, but I kind of want to like start like end a little tradition, which will be an end of the year uh, like kind of special where I talk about like things that I like that have happened for pretty much all the games that I play, which is mostly Vanguard and Yu-Gi-Oh. But it'll definitely more be like it'll probably more be a reflection on this past year of Vanguard because I have a lot to say about that. And then the other tradition will be uh, the first video of next year. I kind of want to start off with kind of my hopes for the Vanguard format and what I want out of the game for the next year. But that's kind of the future roadmap. I don't really know when I have plans for set 11 because I'm kind of at the mercy of whenever things show up because I wasn't able to get any boxes. So that is kind of that's the game plan right now. But we'll go into this deck profile really quick. This is a it's a really cool one. I know it got first place at an event from one of the guys that I played against in BCS Rosemont. Really cool guy. Uh, so we'll start off with the flag card. So the flag is your starter, and basically it allows you to have a buddy monster in your order zone, which is going to be this guy. And then instead of when you riding on top of it, either drawing when you go second or getting energy, you get this different crest, which allows you to have gauge as a resource. And the gauge is literally just face down cards that you can pay the cost for certain things. Like he has a cost of pay 2 gauge to call him out and like to kill a rear guard. So we're gonna get more into his effect when we get into the main deck copies. But the cool thing is having the buddy monster as this means you have access to this card at any point in the game you want it because it's going to be in your order zone, and when you call it out, you get to countercharge one, which is really nice because this deck feels like it goes through its counter blast pretty quickly. So we'll just move you guys out of the side real quick. I'll talk about the other effect of this. So all the flags kind of tell you what you're allowed to play in terms of like the monster types. So for this deck, you can play anything that has dragon type in it, which is really cool. So there's like I think there's like Ancient World. There's I think Darkness Dragon World is one of them. I know Dragon World is the primary dragon source, but the other cool thing is that when you ride over this and you get your gauge, your buddy all set up, you can discard a card and your new health total becomes 7, so you die at 7 rather than 6, which I think is really cool. It's like a greed-on effect, but you don't really have to work to like sneak in the greed-on into soul. You can just, you're right off the gate, you're like, hey, I die at 7. So we have the grade 1 next, and the grade 1 is when it's rode over by the grade 2, you get to look at top 7. Did I put out the grade 2? Oopsie. Anyways, um, the so the grade 1, look at top 7, you get to add a dragon card to hand. And it can be any dragon card, which I think is really cool. And the grade 2 says when the grade 3 rides over it, you gauge 1 and then you draw 1, which is really nice. So it gets you a free resource, it gets you some cards back. And lastly, we have the boss card. So the boss card gives all of your Ozzy Dahakas, so this guy and then the other version of him that we play in the deck, plus 5k, and they can attack from the back row center. And you can also ignore the calling cost because Sorry, not the calling cost, but the calling rule, because he's grade 4 and this is grade 3, which is cool. But his other ability is you can counterblast 1, look at top 5, and you either get to call a dragon card if it's a unit, or add it to hand if it's a order card, normal order specifically. Again, a really cool effect. I like the tutor ability of this. And the continuous ability it has is all your dragons get +5, which is nice. They lets them hit for pretty decent numbers. That's it for the ride deck. We'll go into the main deck now, which will be 3 copies of Persona Ride, and my Regalis choice is Bracing Angel Ladder. It hasn't happened too often, but there were a couple games where uh, I lost my buddy monster before something could happen, and I don't really want that. So this kind of gives you a chance to keep him on board, because you want to keep as big of a hand size as you can. And then 2 more copies of the Buddy Monster and 2 of his alternate form. So this one, if you remove an Ozzy Dahaka, because they're both Ozzy Dahaka from your drop zone, it can battle your opponent's front row. Really cool. And its call cost is paying 2 gauge. This one's call cost is paying 2 gauge and retiring a rear guard. And it can, if it's the first battle of the turn, well, not the first battle. If your Vanguard's standing, at the end of a battle, you can counterblast 1, restand it, and it gets 10k, which is really nice having that back row attacker. But if your opponent's grade 3, it gets a crit, which again, really cool. Um, the other thing that they both share is if you take damage during your opponent's turn, you get to search for this equip card right here, the sword, and put it onto your Vanguard. So you arm it kind of like you would arm Bav Sagra, and on your turn, it gives +5 to your, or it gives +5 to Ozzy Dahaka and plus 10 to crit to your Vanguard, which is really cool. And it's a 10k, 15k shield, like during your opponent's turn too. So like, if you swing at me, I can just say, hey, declare this, get 15 shield for the battle, and it's only a once per turn. Uh, it's a really nice card. I'm not quite familiar with the other one off the top of my head that the Jackknife deck uses, but I feel like this one's just like really good value and a really good card overall. Moving on to the grade 2 portion, we're looking at this Dragon Knight guy who has the ability, you can tap him to draw a card, but you can't move him anywhere else on the field until end of turn. So he is locked down if you do that ability, which is fine, because this other ability is if you have the equip card on your Vanguard, so you have to wait a turn. He can restand at the beginning of battle phase, so you can tap him without doing it. Uh, his other condition is if you have like the boss of a different buddy fight deck, we don't play that because it's not a dragon, so we don't have to worry about that. And then there's 3 copies of this little guy, who gets 5k power, 5k shield if you're on Kyoya, I believe is his name. If you're on Kyoya, he gets 5k power, 5k shield, the grade 3 version, which is pretty cool. And then you can on play Soul Blast 1, look at top 5 or top 7 for an Ozzy Dahaka if you haven't found one, and add to hand. Um, it's pretty nice just to have that like deck thinning, especially because this deck really doesn't use Soul. Like I don't really have any Soul issues with this deck, so it's kind of nice to have that. And then a very small grade 1 count, which is going to be uh, 4 of this Dragon Knight, who on play, if you haven't played one this turn, lets you draw a card, and 4 perfect guards. One of them being the Blitz Order one, uh, but the rest are regular ones. But unlike, this isn't like Sanctitude, where you get like the free guard if it's triple drive. This is the if you haven't if you have no face-up damage, you get to counter charge, which is kind of nice. And that is it for that little bit. And then we'll go on to probably like the next most important part of the deck. Like I'd argue Ozzy Dahaka and the grade 2 that taps to draw a card are like the most important of your deck. I'd argue this is the next important because this just keeps your hand and your gauge full. It's your little order package. So it's four what is this? Dragon Emperor Legend, three Divine Dragon Creation, and then two Gargantua Punisher, your impact card. So these both have the ability, after you resolve them, you can play another order this turn as long as it's not the same card, which is really nice because these cards just get you advantage. This one, you draw a card and put this card into the gauge, and then if you have no face-up damage, you countercharge one. This one, you counterblast one to draw two cards. So you're just kind of filtering your hand, getting better cards, which is really nice. And then Gargantua Punisher. This is a finisher card. There's a lot of games where I haven't even been able to use this because the deck puts out like such a decent bit of pressure that like it almost doesn't come up. But it's basically you go to the end of your battle phase, you declare final phase, you counterblast one, uh, drop 4 gauge, uh, and you can use this, which is restand your Vanguard and do an extra attack with it, which is just really nice because your Vanguard has crit pressure. So, like, why not, right? Uh, I don't think you need any more of these cards than what I'm playing. There are times I do kind of want an extra copy of this, but like it's not the end of the world. And then on to the triggers. So I'm playing the buddy fight trigger and over trigger, and the reason I'm playing this over any other one is because so far it's been decent. Is the only way I can describe it. Like, because I think like blue OT and red OT are like kind of popular for this deck. I don't remember what the preferred is, but it's also really nice to because this just has three good effects on it, which is you get to grab a normal order from your drop, put it into your hand. You get to give your Vanguard a crit, and you get to give your buddy fight or your buddy monster on rearguard a crit. It's just kind of free. I think it's really cool. I don't know if it's the way going forward, but right now I've been having fun with it. I'm playing four of this crit, which is uh, I should probably mention their triggers are order cards too, or blitz orders. So basically, oh no, this one's an order. Basically, you can play them during your turn instead of playing the other orders I showed off. That hasn't really come up. This one can go into uh, the the buddy's soul to be like a little shield or whatever. It's kind of cute. This one shouldn't be this one. So the reason I have this one is because I couldn't find the Cray Elemental critical trigger. I have four. I don't know where they are, but I'd rather this be a Cray Elemental trigger just because critical trigger because the buddy monster wants you to sacrifice a rear guard, and sometimes you'll look at your hand and be like, "Dang, I don't really have rear guards to call." So it's it'd be a lot nicer if it was that, but whenever it gets reprinted, I'll just pick it up then, and this will be fine. Three of the effect front, just to get that extra shield, and four heal triggers. This has the same ability as the Perfect Guard, where if you don't have any face-up damage, you can discard one to countercharge. It's kind of nice, but it's not like I haven't resolved it. I would just use it as a 10k shield, so I can't say like whether or not like this is saving the day or not. But yeah, that's it for this profile. I think this is a really cool deck, especially for someone that just like did not care about Buddy Fight at all. Like I watched the show for a little bit, but like it just didn't like I didn't vibe with it. But yeah, this deck is pretty fun, really cool. I don't know why I'm actually hoping this, but I'm almost hoping they do a second Buddy Fight set just so I can see more support for this, and maybe they go into the other worlds and like do some cool, interesting design. But yeah, that's all I have for this one. Appreciate you guys listening to it. I'm gonna see you guys Sunday. Peace out.